intelligent, funny young lady, responsible young adult, had several friends, was destined for great things. And the person that killed her prevented all of those great things that Robin was destined for.
It was a joy to be with. She was very happy. She liked to make people laugh. She was interested in writing, but Saddleback has a really good communications department. She was the disc jockey and did the news and public service announcements, and she was good at it, and she liked it. We were blessed to have this girl in our lives for 23 years.
Robin's murder whips into a sensationalized media storm, criticizing homicide investigators' inability to produce a prime suspect.
They could find no offender. They had no solid leads to go on.
There have been quite a bit of concern around Mission Viejo with the case dragging on for so many months.
You really have to be aware of the fact that surveillance cameras, especially on college campuses, weren't what they are today. And you combine that with the fact that there were no witnesses and no physical evidence, made it really difficult to nail down a suspect.
One can only imagine how traumatic this is for Robin's family.
Initially, when the phone would ring in the beginning, the first year or two, I would think, oh, maybe that's the sheriff. They're going to tell us that they've made an arrest. And then after the years went on, it just like, I'd really pretty much given up hope.
The FBI puts their skilled profilers on the case because you want to ensure, as an investigator, that there isn't already somebody in the federal system worth looking at.
But FBI profilers find no matches to active killers in their database. The simple truth is, the investigation is going cold, quickly.
No detective ever wants to face a grieving family without being able to provide them some sort of closure, some information as to what happened to their loved one. You know, for a detective, really, that means failure. It's beginning to look like this mysterious, faceless killer is going to get away with it.
With all investigative avenues exhausted, Robin Brandley's murder ends up in Orange County Homicide's cold case files. But what authorities do not know is that Robin is just the beginning. 2,000 miles away, and 10 years later, in the district of Wolf Lake, south of Chicago proper, he strikes again.
Mid-April of 1996, a person during the morning hours, a nature walker of sorts, was walking near Wolf Lake, near the shoreline, when he discovered a nude body of a female floating face down. He immediately called 911, and both police from Hammond, Indiana, as well as the Chicago police arrived. It was discovered that the body was on the Illinois side of the lake, so the Chicago police had jurisdiction over this matter.
There's not a lot of evidence. There's no clothing or any of her personal belongings left behind.
Wolf Lake is a very, very remote, secluded lake between the Illinois-Indiana border, an industrial area. Nobody lived nearby it. Nobody worked near it. Certainly at night, it was a perfect place to be alone with somebody.
Wolf Lake is a small lake just between Chicago and Hammond. It's sort of famous back in the days of Capone for having bodies dumped there. But since that time, it's become more of a natural reserve with recreational sport and kind of a day fishing spot.
Detectives arrive on the scene.
She had been shot twice. Her naked body had been removed by fire department personnel and transported to the Cook County Medical Examiner's office for an autopsy.
With no way to identify the young woman, detectives hope the autopsy will shed some light.
They found no identification anywhere near her body, no clothes. It was a mystery at that point, and she was considered a Jane Doe.
With Jane Does, dental records and fingerprints are typically run through police files.
They had to wait for the body to dry out before they could take her fingerprints. They did discover that she had a tattoo of a heart on her body.
A fingerprint match reveals the victim is 24-year-old Laura Ulaki of Hammond, Indiana.
Laura had a previous arrest for prostitution in 1995, so her fingerprints came up in the system.
There had been 2 gunshot wounds, one in Laura's face and another behind her shoulder. There were bullets lodged in her body. Those bullets were recovered by the medical examiner and sent to the Illinois State Police Crime Lab, where they were found to be .38 caliber bullets.
Police begin to look into Laura's life for possible clues that might help identify her killer.
Laura came from a big family. She had a lot of friends.
Around the time of her death, she was beginning to frequent some bars and clubs in Hammond. She was beginning to use drugs and getting involved with the wrong people.
Whether she'd been paid for sex by her killer is a possibility, which means there's a high probability she met him in the clubs she frequented in and around Hammond. And her murder turns into another cold case, leaving Chicago detectives stumped.
If you want faster home internet that's built for rural America, meet the next generation of HughesNet.
Hi!
Now you can do it all. Connect, stream, and play, wherever you live.
Now you can shop till you drop, because your internet won't.
Now I can video conference with confidence.
Yes!
HughesNet is Jupiter-powered, with faster speeds than ever before, and unlimited data.
Now I can stream up anything I can dream up.
That's right.
And the HughesNet Fusion plan combines satellite and wireless technologies for a faster, more responsive internet experience.
Hal, there's no shame in my game.
Oh, game on.
HughesNet is now better than ever.
Nice.
Call today to get free professional installation and save $25 a month for 12 months.
This changes everything.
Yes, it does.
Now it's your chance to get HughesNet. Call 1-800-617-7624.
Healthcare. It's so outdated. You know what time it is? Time for change. It's time for someone else to coordinate all our care, like a whole team. My very own team?
Welcome to Oak Street Health. The doctor will see you now.
I just made this appointment yesterday.
Now that's more like it.
At Oak Street Health, we're changing what it means to get older by changing healthcare for the better. In fact, we specialize in caring for older adults. So call today.
Here, every member of your team works together to build your personal care plan and manage all your healthcare needs.
That includes nurses like me,
Social workers and mental health support.
And of course me, her doctor.
I take the notes for him,
so I can spend more time listening to her.
She does like to talk.
What if I have medical questions late at night?
Or early in the morning?
We do have a 24/7 patient support line, even on weekends. Plus, we accept Medicare and can even help you understand your plan's benefits.
That's quite the benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Gone are the days of doctors who only want to see you when you're sick. Oak Street Health focuses on keeping you healthy. Why settle for the old way of managing your health, now that there's Oak Street Health?
It's time for less red tape.
Better now? We even gather all of your medical records and health history. So switching to Oak Street Health is easy.
Does any of this cost extra?
Heck no.
Well, out with the old way of aging
and in with the new.
Oak Street Health specializes in helping older adults feel their best. Call 855-271-5403 to schedule your visit with the only primary care provider selected to carry the AARP name, Oak Street Health.
Look, why don't you get this number at home?
Well, child, I get to decide when I get paid. My pay lets me get up to $500 of my pay when I need it. There's no interest, no credit checks, no mandatory fees. And that's why I Chime. Join me at chime.com and get paid when you say.
I had lost about 50 pounds and kind of stalled. And then a friend had said, you ought to look at Weight Watchers Clinic. The combination of Weight Watchers and weight loss medication has changed my life. It's a different body, a different world.
When it comes to your heart health, there's one thing that is essential.
Nitric oxide, nitric oxide, nitric oxide.
Super Beats by Human is a leading nitric oxide supplement for blood pressure and heart health support.
I don't know of any other compound in the body that has such far-ranging effects.
Join the millions of people who have put Super Beats heart health support supplements to the test. As you age, your nitric oxide levels go down, but our clinically studied plant-based formula supports increased nitric oxide production, healthy blood pressure, heart-healthy energy and stamina, and supports healthy circulation and blood flow.
There are other products out there, but nothing close that stands on the science that Super Beats does.
Unlock high-efficacy heart health support with Super Beats by Human. Support your body's nitric oxide production with Super Beats, the #1 cardiologist-recommended beet brand for heart health support. Get started with a free month supply plus free shipping on all bundles at shopsuperbeats.com.
It's time to get your dream kitchen at Cabinets to Go.
Right now, save on every single cabinet in your design. Up to $175 off per cabinet. Come in today and get your dream kitchen for just $144 a month.
Cabinets to Go. Wow for less.
A young student's savage murder on campus stuns the community of Mission Viejo and sends panic throughout the college. But the case goes cold when another girl turns up dead in a suburban lake near Chicago 10 years later. Investigators have no idea they're dealing with a serial killer. A killer who is but a ghost. July 14th, 1996. The body of another young woman is found in Livingston County, south of Chicago.
While still investigating Lori Ulacki's murder with no real breakthroughs, another girl is found in the Vermilion River a couple hours south of Wolf Lake.
She had been shot several times. She had been stabbed. And like Laura's body, it was nude in a body of water with no identification. Fishermen had come to the Vermilion River, discovered her body, and immediately called the police. Her body was taken to the medical examiner there in Livingston County.
Medical examiners find that she had been handcuffed and duct tape had been placed over her mouth.
They did discover that she had a tattoo of CC on her body.
She's identified as 21-year-old Cassandra Coram.
She was a young lady in the Hammond, Indiana area. Cassandra Coram's family had sent out a flyer looking for her. They had reported her missing, and they were obviously very concerned about her. And it wasn't until this tattoo was identified and pictures of Cassie was shown to her family, and they identified her.
Considering that Cassandra is also from Hammond, it suggests whoever killed her is hunting in the same place, but disposing of victims somewhere else.
During the autopsy, the medical examiner had revealed that Cassie had been shot 3 times. One of the bullets was lodged in her body. That bullet was also sent to the Illinois State Police Crime Lab, where it was found to also be a .38 caliber bullet.
A month later, a third victim ends up in Wolf Lake, in what is to be known as the Wolf Lake Murders. August 2nd, 1996. 22-year-old Lynn Huber, a known prostitute from Chicago, is also murdered.
Almost in the identical location where Laura had been dumped months earlier, and he dumped Lynn Huber's body in Wolf Lake. Lynn's body is removed from the water and taken to the medical examiner's office for an autopsy.
Lynn shot not once, but twice. The first shot kills her, so he then shot her again after she was dead. And there were a lot of stab wounds, predominantly in the back, that again were done after she was dead. This means that not only is he getting bolder, he's also getting more aggressive post-mortem.
Yet they have no eyewitnesses, no gun or knife, no real forensic evidence to find this guy.
However, when Lynn Huber's body was examined at the Cook County Medical Examiner's office, the medical examiner found a bullet lodged in her body that also was a .38 caliber bullet. All of those bullets were examined by the Illinois State Police Crime Lab, and it was determined that all of the women were killed by the same gun, a .38 caliber pistol.
So by early August of 1996, we have 2 police departments from 2 jurisdictions dealing with the bodies of 3 women who were found nude in bodies of water in secluded areas. All of these victims have been shot by the same gun, so police now believe they're dealing with a serial killer.
April 1st, 1997. Officers respond to a disturbance call between a known prostitute and her client at a Hammond hotel.
They had gone on, dates in the past. All of those dates ended up at Wolf Lake, where there would be sex in exchange for money.
She tells police that they had been arguing about money.
This lady had stolen some checks from a checkbook he had in his glove compartment. This infuriated him. They got into an argument during which he was chasing her around the truck with a knife, trying to kill her. The police were called, but by then he left the scene.
She starts telling the police he wants to drive out to Wolf Lake, take me in the back of his pickup truck, handcuff me, and have sex.
She did not want to do that. In fact, she didn't even want to go to Wolf Lake anymore.
What she was saying sounded very similar to the MO of the Wolf Lake killer. The officer even tells her she shouldn't be doing that because they've had women killed up in the Wolf Lake area. While he's listening to her, he recognizes the man's name from a previous arrest.
Following the motel incident, the officer reviews his prior firearm violation arrest of a South Chicago mall security guard named Andrew Urdiales, who tells him he's a former Marine.
He's so sure of his hunch that he prepares a supplemental report suggesting that this former Marine is a prime suspect in the Wolf Lake killings.
November of 1996, he was working on patrol in Hammond, Indiana, when he and other officers came upon a crack house. Urdiales and his pickup truck and an unknown female were sitting in the truck out in front of this crack house. They approached the vehicle. They were interviewing Urdiales and this young lady, during which a search of the vehicle revealed a .38 caliber pistol. Urdiales told the Hammond police officers he was a security guard. He used the pistol for work.
Urdiales was not licensed to carry a gun in the state of Indiana, so officers charged him with a misdemeanor and they confiscated the weapon. A judge later ordered that the gun be destroyed.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. If you have or are eligible for Medicaid, please listen closely. You may be eligible for a Medicare Advantage plan from WellCare with a $0 or low monthly plan premium. Call now. We can answer your questions and help you enroll over the phone. WellCare provides access to essential benefits that go beyond original Medicare, such as dental, vision, hearing, and $0 or low prescription drug copays with free home delivery, free over-the-counter healthcare items, free fitness benefits, WellCare's telehealth services, including online doctor visits, Twill, a digital mental health and social support resource, plus extra benefits, including the WellCare Spendables debit card, which you can use for over-the-counter health items. WellCare is contracted with Medicare to provide plans that may be right for you. Call 844-958-0136. Now, that's 844-958-0136.
Hi, my name is Damian Clark. And if you have both Medicare and Medicaid, I have some really encouraging news that you'll definitely want to hear. Depending on the plans available in your area, you may be eligible to get extra benefits with the Humana Medicare Advantage Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan. Most plans include the Humana Healthy Options Allowance, a monthly allowance to help pay for eligible groceries, utilities, rent, and over-the-counter items, like vitamins, pain relievers, first aid supplies, and more. The Healthy Options Allowance is loaded onto a prepaid card each month, and whatever you don't spend carries over from each month. You can pay nothing for covered prescriptions all year long, even name brand drugs. All plans have $0 copays for covered preventive dental services, which include 2 free cleanings a year, as well as fillings. They may also have vision coverage, including vision exams, and a yearly allowance towards eyewear, such as lenses or contacts. Even hearing coverage, which includes routine hearing exams and coverage towards hearing aids. You'll even have a $0 copay for routine vaccines and telehealth visits. Plus, your doctor, hospital, and pharmacy may already be part of our large Humana networks. So call the number on your screen now to speak with a licensed Humana sales agent. Wouldn't you love benefits like a monthly allowance? to help pay for eligible groceries, utilities, rent, and over-the-counter items. So if you have Medicare and Medicaid, call the number on your screen now and speak with a licensed Humana sales agent. If you're eligible, they can even help enroll you over the phone in a Humana Medicare Advantage dual eligible special needs plan. And remember, annual enrollment ends on December 7th. So call now. Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
At Consumer Cellular, we pride ourselves on getting you the exact same nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. But don't worry, we've got a lot more than that going for us. Woo! Like this beautiful store in Arizona, for example. It's the perfect place for me to tell you a little bit more about our phones and how they can become your phones. You name it, we probably got it. We have the top smartphones from all the major companies. If it's state-of-the-art cameras you want with space-age metal housing, we got them. If you want a smartphone with lots of bells and whistles but won't break the bank, we've got that too. We even have flip phones like the Iris Flip. If you're someone that doesn't need all that mumbo-jumbo and just wants something simple. And now, we even have watches.
We do.
No matter what device you choose, you'll be happy to know that if your data needs change,
No problem.
with our Smart Flex feature, you don't have to sweat it. Like say you're on a road trip out west and end up using a bunch of data. We can simply flex you up to the next data tier for as little as $5. Then, when you get home, you can flex right back down with no penalty, so you only pay for what you actually need.
With Consumer Cellular, you get the exact same nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost.
I know what you're thinking. What if I don't have one of these amazing stores in my town yet? Can I get these phones sent to me?
Yes, you can.
Will our award-winning customer service help me switch over or add a line for $15 to make my own family plan?
Of course they will.
Is it easy?
Easy as pie.
See that tower out there? It's a beauty. And there are thousands more like it, working hard for me and you, supplying 5G coverage to this beautiful nation of ours. We know how important coverage is. That's why we offer a risk-free guarantee. If you're not satisfied within 30 days of activation, you can pay nothing. Oh, look.
New customers save $50 when you sign up today. Call 800-311-5340. Find us in Target or visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
She knows what she's talking about. Pick up the phone.
Coming up next on True Crime Network. Chicago District Detectives have no clue a link exists between 3 recent murders of local prostitutes and a college student murdered 10 years prior in California. The 3 Chicago area murders have all been committed using the same gun, a .38 revolver. Hammond, Indiana police have just linked a .38 revolver in their custody to a former mall security guard named Andrew Bertialis.
Now, the Hammond, Indiana Police Department communicated all of this information to the Chicago Police Department. The Chicago police detectives raced to Hammond, Indiana as soon as they could and got out of inventory Andrew Bertialis' pistol that was destined to be destroyed. Thank God it hadn't been destroyed by mid-April of 1997, when that gun was analyzed with all of the bullets from Lori Olaki's body, Cassandra Coram's body, and Lynn Huber's body. And scientists from the Illinois State Police were able to determine that that gun, to the exclusion of every gun in the world, was the gun that was used in shooting all of those bullets and all of those women. It was Andrew Bertialis' gun.
Detectives arrest him at his parents' South Chicago home.
He was wearing his security guard uniform, he had a duty belt on, he had a badge, and he willingly accompanied the detectives to the police station for an interview. He was glad to cooperate. He felt some type of a kinship with, real law enforcement officials.
Detectives interview Andrew Bertialis.
So they asked him where he got the gun from. He tells them he bought it for $300 5 months ago in Calumet City. He's almost matter-of-fact about it.
And they asked him, did you ever let anybody use this gun besides yourself? He goes, no, absolutely not. The detectives then told Bertialis that gun was used to kill the three women, the pictures of whom was laying out in front of him. He looked at the detectives, he smiled, he stood up, and he said, "Well, I guess I'm not going to work today." He took off his duty belt, he took off his security guard badge, and then he proceeded to tell the detectives how he killed Lori Lackey, Sandra Quorum, and Lynn Hoover.
Having been in homicide for so long, I can tell you it's unusual to have a suspect just give it up like that. The detectives must have been surprised that he was just ready to confess.
April 22nd, 1997. Andrew Urdialis is arrested for the murders of Laura Ulaki and Lynn Huber.
Today we're here to announce the arrest of Andrew Urdialis. He's been arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder. And those murders are Laura Ulaki and Lynn Huber. A break came in this case as a result of a report that was submitted by a Hammond police officer. And his name is Warren Fryer. And certain information was in that report that brought us into arresting Mr. Urdialis.
Urdialis shocks Cook County detectives when he tells them California authorities might also be interested to hear what he has to tell them. Cook County Homicide invites California's detective investigating the Robin Brandley case to Chicago's Area 2 headquarters.
We received a call from the Chicago Police Department that indicated they had arrested a serial murder suspect involved in several murders in their city, and indicated that they had strong suspicions that this could be the suspect involved in the killing of Robin Brandley.
Urdialis tells investigators about how he came to be in California at the time of Robin's murder.
From 1984 to 1991, he was a communications officer in the Marines. He was stationed at Camp Pendleton, just north of San Diego. He wasn't too popular in the Marines. In fact, he was given the nickname Corporal Urinalysis. It's also said that he had an odd twitch that makes it impossible for him to rise in the ranks. He was demoted instead.
During his career, he was deployed in Operation Desert Storm. He was a radio operator.
Eventually, in his police interview, he gets around to the night he killed Robin Brandley. According to his confession, he got into an argument with some of his subordinates at Camp Pendleton, which set him off. Basically, his rage sent him speeding down Interstate 5 through San Clemente into the Saddleback campus. It's later in the evening by the time he gets there, but he notices a few cars still in the parking lot.
Can you describe the parking lot? Dark. Nothing else but dark parking lot.
He didn't remember her name, but he remembered how she was dressed, how he snuck on the campus that night.
The woman thought she was walking all around the building, walking towards her car. Can you describe this woman who was walking towards the car? She was white.
He basically took a position in the shadows and waited. Robin Brandley was just a random female. Could have been anybody as far as he was concerned.
I said I wanted it first. The second, just what happens then. What happens then? Then the knife just plunged into her. Into where? Like that.
From the beginning of his confession, you can hear how he weaves a disconnect into his narrative. It's almost like even though he's confessing, he's disassociating himself from any real responsibility. This is textbook sociopathic behavior. And so as anger builds to rage one night, he drives up the I-5 and murders an innocent girl. But he realizes he has to be more careful if he doesn't want to get caught. He'd have to prepare better and select victims that wouldn't cause the same mass media hysteria that Robin's murder created. So he decides to focus on prostitutes, runaways, people more difficult to trace. He rents a storage locker in San Diego to better organize and hide his weapons. He starts using a gun and stabs his victims after the fact. There's less chance of blood spatter once the heart has stopped beating, and therefore less chance of being caught. And hunts in cities further from Camp Pendleton. Some are deep in the California desert. Some are less busy than a college campus.
He finds his second victim in the Coachella Valley. in Cathedral City, just south of Palm Springs.
There's no shortage of prostitutes and runaway girls in Cathedral City. It's a very transient area. The second victim is Julie McGee, a known prostitute around town.
I had a 45, so I had the 45 on my seat. I picked it up, and I walked over to the other side, and I told her to get out. She walked over to the other, and I was going to point at her, and it went off. How many times did you shot? She was shot twice.
But Julie, like Robin Branley before her, is destined to become another California cold case. It's only a few months later he strikes again in San Diego. Marianne Wells is a single mother, a mature student, and she moonlights as a sex trade worker.
Marianne Wells was left in an alley in an industrial area of San Diego, California.
He's getting more confident, but along with his arrogance, his urge is now impossible to resist. He's going to keep killing until he gets stopped.
In Palm Springs, Erdialis finds his fourth and youngest victim, 18-year-old Tammy Irwin.
Tammy Irwin was left in the desert in the Palm Springs, California area.
So I remember her name was Tammy. We got in the car. Did you have a 45 with you when you were outside the truck? In my hand. The gun pointed at her. Okay. And slowly, I got my truck and I looked and I knew it was banding, but the next thing I know, the gun was just pointing at her again. And something more time.
The bodies of Julie McGee, Marianne Wells, and Tammy Irwin were found to have 45 caliber bullets in them. Those bullets were determined by authorities in California to be fired by the same gun. When Marianne Wells' body was discovered by San Diego police, there was a condom near her body. DNA samples were obtained from him, and it was discovered that was the DNA of Andrew Erdialis. So you had physical evidence that linked Erdialis to Marianne Wells' murder, coupled with the ballistic evidence that linked her murder to Julie McGee and Tammy Irwin, coupled with his detailed confessions to killing all three of those women. And by the end of April 1997, everybody knew that Andrew Erdialis was a serial killer, leaving victims in both Illinois and California.
He kills again on a return trip to California in March 1995. Her name was Denise Manny, a known prostitute in Cathedral City. Hers was by far one of the most gruesome crime scenes they found. She was mutilated, shot through the mouth, and left in the desert.
He talked about how he had killed Denise Manny with his second 45 caliber pistol. He left this pistol in a locker storage facility of sorts in the Palm Springs area, where he kept that pistol, a machete, rope, shovels, twine, things of that nature. He would keep this storage locker there in Palm Springs with all of these tools of his trade so that he wouldn't have to take them on a plane back to Chicago.
With each killing, he becomes more and more confident he can't be caught, until that one victim rattles his confidence. He confesses to detectives that one girl in California actually got away.
Experience the rich maritime heritage of New England with American Cruise Lines. Known for its spectacular shoreline, charming seaside villages, and of course, the world's most delicious seafood, New England offers the perfect summer getaway. Aboard the newest fleet of small ships, experience award-winning shore excursions while visiting the most beautiful ports in the region, including Newport, Martha's Vineyard, and the Maine coast. In your spacious stateroom, magnificent views await you on your private balcony, while our gracious onboard staff ensures that your voyage will be unforgettable. Begin your journey with the leader in U.S. cruising. Visit AmericanCruiseLines.com or call for a free cruise guide. Small ship cruising, done perfectly.
Medicare can be hard to understand. Part A plus Part B and additional benefits equal Part C. And sometimes Part C includes Part D prescription drug coverage. It can be confusing, but if you have the right help, making sense of your Medicare coverage can be easy. We're ready to help you understand your options and make enrolling in a Medicare Advantage plan simple. We can help compare plans that cover what's important to you, like your doctors, pharmacy, prescriptions, and your budget. The Medicare annual enrollment period is right now, and you only have a limited time to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan. Original Medicare is Parts A and B and covers hospitalizations and doctor's visits. Medicare Advantage is Part C and includes all the benefits of Original Medicare plus additional benefits that you may need but aren't currently getting. We'll help you understand all your options. All you need to do is give us a call. At the Medicare Benefits Helpline, we make it easy. Just call the number on your screen, give us your zip code, and we'll help you do the rest. You can compare plans that cover what's important to you, like your doctors, pharmacy, prescriptions, and your budget. We'll help you find a plan with the coverage and savings you're looking for. Call now for your free Medicare benefits review. You may be able to find a Medicare Advantage plan with additional benefits, or that could save you money. But you don't know if you don't call. With the Medicare Benefits Helpline, it's easy. Just call the number on your screen, give us your zip code, and explore plans with additional benefits available to you. Don't miss out. Call now. The Medicare annual enrollment period is right now.
Get your free and easy Medicare benefits review today at 800-329-4910. That's 800-329-4910. 800-329-4910. Call now.
They were gunned down. This is a Stone Cold Killer. Now, determined detectives will have to trace the ballistics to track down their shooter.
We are all hands on deck.
Targeted for murder. Next on True Crime Network.
Serial killer Andrew Urdiales is arrested and taken to Chicago's famed Area 2 division, where he confesses to savagely murdering 8 women in California and Illinois over a 10-year rampage. But when he admits one girl in Palm Springs got away from him, detectives may have the witness they so desperately need.
During Urdiales' confession, investigators were careful to have him explain the killings and record it on tape, using details only the killer would know. However, they would still like to have their ace up their sleeve, for lack of a better term, before turning the case over to the district attorney's office. And that ace is the one victim who got away.
Her name is Jennifer Asmunsen, and she's a certified nursing assistant working the graveyard shift in a handicapped children's facility when she accepts a ride from the absolute wrong guy.
Palm Springs, September 27th, 1992, 6 p.m.
One night, he is driving in Palm Springs when he saw Jennifer Asmunsen, who was waiting at a bus stop, and unfortunately for her, she was late for work. He pulled up in his rent-a-car, asked if she needed a ride.
And I automatically said no, and all that ran through my mind is, I'm going to lose my job. This is a nice guy. Why am I so afraid of everything? And I just said, stop, wait, I'll do it.
So she got in the car, and they started driving, started talking. She introduced herself, his name was Jennifer. So we're driving and driving, and we made a lot of small talk. Said something about being an actress, something like that.
He dropped her off at work, but before dropping her off, he asked for her phone number. She gave him a bogus phone number.
I tried to call her, but couldn't get through for some reason. It was a bad number, and I was kind of upset about that.
And he realized she had lied to him, which, if you're Andrew Urdiales, he did not like it when women lied to him.
So I got in my car, and I go back to that area.
Sure enough, she's getting off of work about 6 o'clock in the morning, and who's there? Andrew Urdiales in that car.
I asked her, hey, how you doing? And she was there last night. I asked her to get the breakfast. She got the car.
He came back the next morning, and he had ate my chest, and I texted him. I got back in the car with him, and that's when he decided he was going to kill me.
And what happened next was a day out of hell.
And the thing I knew, I just reached over and I grabbed her by the hair, and then she got scared, and I produced the gun. She was pretty much submissive. Left by forward, and I told her to turn around. I tied her hands behind her back.
He has her tied up. He is brandishing this machete, this gun. At one point, after bashing her head onto the dashboard, she is overcome by fear. She passes out, and he picks her up and he puts her in the trunk of this rental car.
I walked towards the back of the car, and I opened the hood, and I stuffed her in there. Then I just pulled the trunk out of her. Then I just got in the car, and I just started driving off.
It's miraculous that she did not die after what she had endured up to this point. While he is driving with her in the trunk, she's able to release the latch of the trunk from the inside. He notices that, stops the car, tells her, close it. She does.
And then I tried to get it back going again, and I got stuck. The fence was so soft on the shoulder, I got stuck.
This gives her an opportunity to release that trunk latch again. She does. She escapes out of the trunk, half naked, injured, and she starts running down this dirt road of sorts.
She had her hands free, and she still wearing her sweatshirt, and she ran screaming. And there were several cars nearby.
Lo and behold, there is a truck coming down the road with two good Samaritans. They're able to rescue Jennifer. She's screaming, she's crying, and they wanted to chase after this guy. And she's like, no, he's got a gun.
So then last night I saw her. Unless somebody else could have finished when I started, but I don't know.
Police are called, her mother is called, but by then, Urdiales has already returned his rent-a-car, and he's on a plane from Palm Springs back to Chicago.
It was very scary, yeah. Someplace I kind of didn't want to get away, so I didn't know I was going to be able to go in public anymore or do anything, knowing that there are sick people out there, but I just got to be strong now, and all I tell myself is that I fought for my life so I can live my life, and I am not afraid anymore.
This was in September of 1992. It did not stop this man because in 1995 he returned to kill Denise Maney. And then, as we know, by the spring and summer of 1996, he's killing 3 more women, this time in the state of Illinois.
Ms. Asbenson's testimony would be key to the prosecution's case. It's beginning to look like Andrew Urdiales is finally headed for the gas chamber.
But it takes 4 years before he even sees the inside of the courtroom.
Fat Kids is how I found the latest viral shoes at half the price. All the kids are obsessing over these right now. I love the pink stitching that Fab Kids did on these. These are a no-fuss lace. They're going to be easy to put on and off. I love the all-over black and white dino print. Plus, they light up. I'm loving the fun, bright pop of pink. They have a Sherpa lining that goes all the way throughout the shoe. The quality for the price is amazing. Get shoes from just $5 plus free shipping on orders over $10 only at fabkids.com.
At Humana, we believe your health care should evolve with you. And part of that evolution means choosing the right Medicare plan for you. Humana can help. Hi, my name is Sam Davis, and I'm going to tell you about Medicare Advantage prescription drug plans that can provide more coverage than original Medicare, including prescription drug coverage, all wrapped up into one convenient plan. With original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits, but you have to meet a deductible for each, and then you're still responsible for 20% of the cost. Next, let's look at Medicare supplement plans. If a service is covered under original Medicare, then a Medicare supplement plan pays for some or all of your Medicare deductibles and the 20% co-insurance, but they may have higher monthly premiums and no prescription drug coverage. Humana Medicare Advantage prescription drug plans include medical coverage, plus prescription drug coverage, with $0 copays on hundreds of prescriptions. Most plans include $0 copays for covered preventive dental services, vision coverage that includes vision exams and a yearly allowance toward eyewear, even hearing benefits that include routine hearing exams and coverage toward hearing aids. You can get $0 copays for in-network preventive services and $0 copays for routine vaccines. And there's worldwide coverage for emergency and urgent care when you travel. Plus, Humana also offers Medicare Advantage plans. Plans have $0 or low monthly plan premiums, and there's a cap on your out-of-pocket costs. So call or go online today to see if there's a Humana plan in your area and to get our free decision guide. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends on December 7th, so call now. Humana, a more human way to health care.
I have a structured settlement and I call JG Wentworth 877
Call 877 cash now to get a $100 gift card for a free quote.
Healthcare. It's so outdated. You know what time it is? Time for change. It's time for someone else to coordinate all our care, like a whole team.
My very own team? Welcome to Oak Street Health. The doctor will see you now.
I just made this appointment yesterday.
That's more like it.
At Oak Street Health, we're changing what it means to get older by changing healthcare for the better. In fact, we specialize in caring for older adults. So call today.
Here, every member of your team works together to build your personal care plan and manage all your healthcare needs.
That includes nurses like me,
Social workers and mental health support.
And of course me, her doctor,
I take the notes for him.
so I can spend more time listening to her.
she does like to talk.
What if I have medical questions late at night?
Or early in the morning.
We do have a 24/7 patient support line, even on weekends. Plus, we accept Medicare and can even help you understand your plan's benefits.
That's quite the benefit.
Gone are the days of doctors who only want to see you when you're sick. Oak Street Health focuses on keeping you healthy. Why settle for the old way of managing your health? Now that there's Oak Street Health.
It's time for less red tape.
Better now? We even gather all of your medical records and health history. So switching to Oak Street Health is easy.
Does any of this cost extra?
Heck no.
Well, out with the old way of aging.
And in with the new.
Oak Street Health specializes in helping older adults feel their best. Call 855-271-5403 to schedule your visit with the only primary care provider selected to carry the AARP name, Oak Street Health.
Ballistics connects Chicago mall security and former Marine Andrew Urdialis to a string of violent, gruesome murders in Illinois and California. But a victim in California who survives his sadistic torture is the eyewitness that could send him to the gas chamber.
Today we had announced the arrest of Andrew Urdialis. He's been arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder. And those murders are Laura Ulacki and Lynn Huber.
Me and my partners were tasked with prosecuting Urdialis in Cook County, Illinois, for the Chicago murders, specifically the murders of Laura Ulacki and Lynn Huber.
Following his arrest, Andrew Urdialis is held in a county correctional center for 4 years before he's tried in court.
Because it was a double murder, it was a death penalty case in Illinois, because at that time, Illinois had the death penalty.
Around the same time, coincidentally, the state of Illinois is caught up in a debate about abolishing the death penalty. The Urdialis case in particular becomes the center point of that argument, and the case is delayed for 4 years.
Andrew Urdialis' trial for the murders of Laura Ulacki and Lynn Huber begins on April 8, 2002.
The jury heard all of the evidence, the brutality of the murders of Laura, Lynn, and Cassandra, the physical evidence linking the defendant to all 3 of these crimes, the detailed confessions provided by Urdialis to not 1 but 2 different assistant state's attorneys.
The defense paint Urdialis as a victim, suffering from PTSD, OCD, bipolar, and Tourette's, which explains the odd twitch he had in the military. They add that he was clearly psychotic at the time of his offenses and suffering from delusions and hallucinations, even hearing voices and taking orders from the CIA.
One of the detectives testifies that Urdialis confessed that he was relieved that he had been caught because he was already getting the urge to kill again.
After 6 weeks, the jury had convicted Andrew Urdialis of the murders of Laura Ulacki and Lynn Huber, and had decided that Andrew Urdialis should get the death penalty.
A little under a year later, the sitting Illinois governor blanket commutes 167 death row inmates, including Urdiales.
Naturally, the prosecution isn't going to give up their opportunity for a second death sentence. A year later in Livingston County, they indict him for Cassandra Corum's murder.
Right from the start, the trial takes on a bizarre twist, with Urdiales throwing a fit and having to be shackled while in court.
Livingston County prosecutors put on their case. It was a great case, just like Cook County's case. Physical evidence linking the defendant to Cassidy's murder, detailed confession. The police down in Livingston County did a great job collecting pieces of duct tape from the interstate when Urdiales left the scene. The defense was an insanity defense presented by his public defenders. The jury soundly rejected that for a number of reasons, not the least of which is that there was a great deal of planning involved by Urdiales before the murders, during the execution of the murders, and then afterwards when he's covering up these crimes, all of which flies in the face of a true insanity defense.
So the prosecution brought in psychology experts. They testify that, unlike what the defense wants you to believe, Urdiales' actions stemmed from his explosive temper, not a mental illness.
Urdiales was proud of what he had done. He truly believed these women deserved to die.
May 10th, 2004. Andrew Urdiales is found guilty of murder for a second time and resentenced to death.
So what happened next is Urdiales is on Illinois death row. There was a commutation of Andrew Urdiales' sentence from death in 2 separate counties with all of this evidence to natural life in prison. And keep this in mind, inherent in the insanity defense is an admission